Welcome home. The unsettling truth your dorm won't let you forget. Chapter 1. The Uninvited Shadow. The old dormitory was supposed to be a haven for students, a place where they could escape the monotony of academic life and find their own sense of belonging among fellow peers. But as I stepped into my new room on that fateful evening, an eerie silence hung in the air like a heavy fog. The walls, painted with faded portraits of distant eras, seemed to swallow any attempt at conversation, leaving me alone with nothing but my thoughts and the creaks of aged floorboards. My roommate hadn't arrived yet, so I settled for unpacking my things under the dim glow of a single desk lamp, an act that only illuminated the corners where shadows loomed and danced as if possessed by unseen hands. Shadows that didn't belong to me or anyone else in this world. At first, there were subtle movements near the bookshelf or just behind it, casting long silhouettes across the wall. I brushed it off as fatigue from the arduous move that in process. But as the night wore on, these shapes grew bolder, twisting into grotesque forms that seemed to watch me with an intent of their own. They were no longer mere darkness. They pulsed with a malevolent life, curling around furniture legs like living tendrils and reaching for my skin. I huddled deeper under the blanket, heart hammering against my rib cage. The flickering light made it difficult to focus on these movements, so I grabbed my phone to record them in case this was more than just paranoia. But each time I dared to look up, they vanished, leaving me questioning my own sanity. The whispers began hours later, a soft murmur, almost like someone whispering secrets into the night wind outside my room. They grew louder and closer, the words becoming discernible, yet unclear. Phrases such as "we're waiting" and "your time is coming" echoed through the walls, making me shiver with every syllable. I tried to pinpoint their source, but found none. Shadows no longer just danced. Now they seemed to be trying to tell a story only they knew. In this moment of solitude, my imagination painted vivid scenes. Sinister apparitions, or perhaps delusions born from loneliness and exhaustion after days of classes and endless packing. Yet, something about the cadence of these whispers resonated deep within me. I must have dozed off because I jolted awake to an unmistakable voice. Welcome home. It wasn't a breathy whisper, but a voice that reverberated through my room like thunder in a silent storm. In the flickering light, shadows seemed to congeal into shadowy figures. Not fully formed people, just dark masses with human silhouettes and unblinking eyes. I screamed when they coalesced into a single figure standing behind my desk, backlit by the pale moonlight peeking through my window. Tall and gaunt, it loomed over me like an ancient specter from another era, watching with eyes that were more voids than orbs. The room was too quiet as I froze, heart pounding out a frenzied rhythm against my chest. It spoke again, in a voice both raspy and ethereal. Welcome home. A gust of wind swept through the open window, extinguishing the lamp, plunging me into darkness. In the inky blackness, it stepped closer, cold breath seeping past the doorframe. I tried to scream, but only a staccato gasp escaped my lips as it drew nearer still. The room was too small for both of us, yet it stood there, inches from where my knees hugged my chest. Welcome home, it rasped once more. With every echo, its form altered, limbs stretching, morphing into grotesque shapes that defied human anatomy. The figure lunged at me and dissipated like mist before I could react. In the dark silence that followed, I heard it mutter one final time, "We're waiting," as dawn approached. Morning light crept in to banish the darkness, revealing no trace of any visitor or visitor turned a relic. My roommate entered sometime during my fitful slumber and seemed oblivious to any disturbance. We exchanged tired smiles and introductions before I collapsed onto the bed, exhausted from our labored breathing. The shadows were just a product of exhaustion. Those whispers mere hallucinations fueled by stress. But they lingered in my mind, echoes of what could have been real. Little did I know that these unsettling phenomena marked only the beginning of this ordeal. The following days blurred as classes, assignments, and socializing filled my schedule. Still, shadows persisted. By dusk each day, they returned, moving with purpose now, always watching me closely. They were no longer just darkness, but a silent audience to my every move. In a library late one night, while studying for a test, I found myself surrounded by shadowy figures as if drawn here. Their leader stood taller than before and closer, its form shifting, eyes still absent of pupils. It spoke in hushed tones. "Remember, remember." My voice broke through the silence. "Who are you? What do you want?" The figure melted into thin air with a single glance from those voids, leaving me bewildered but resolute. I needed answers. I pored over old records and books at the university library, searching for this dormitory's history. And there it was, an article on my laptop screen, Ravenwood Dormitory, the Unspoken Legacy. Founded decades ago by a reclusive professor named Thaddeus Ravenwood. This place had been home to several suicides, mysterious disappearances, and inexplicable student absences. The last known incident dated back to the 1960s. That night, shadows crept closer still, reaching out like dark tentacles as I typed away, fingers trembling across the keyboard. They pressed against my skin, insinuating their presence. I was about to look up when a gust of wind extinguished the light once more. In the darkness, an unseen force grabbed for me, fingers closing around my arm like icy claws before letting go. As dawn broke through the window again, our roommate stumbled in, bleary-eyed from a night out with friends. I confided in her about these apparitions and whispers, thinking she'd dismiss them as silly fears. Instead, her expression turned somber. "Not many students know this," she said after I left the room for a few minutes to collect my mind. "There are stories. People who lived here have never truly been gone." Her words hung heavy between us until she continued. Thaddeus Ravenwood had an obsession with occult rituals and human experimentation. She revealed more than she intended, that he performed bizarre ceremonies on students in the attic. The night before a significant full moon was said to hold the key to understanding the secrets locked within these walls. Chapter 2. Whispers in the Walls. With each passing day, whispers sharpened into clear voices, phrases strung together in eerie rhythms. "Find it," they chanted, followed by "You are our last chance." Their persistence kept me up late, and I ventured to the attic as moonlight spilled through grimy windows. Tattered trunks stored amidst cobwebs housed artifacts from Ravenwood's era. Strange instruments and tomes bound in black leather with symbols that felt more curse than knowledge. My trembling hand opened one. Pages within revealed his rituals to unlock hidden truths, a quest for immortality. A faint glow emanated from the back of a room, where an old desk sat, shrouded by a hooded figure. It turned out to be me. In those moments of discovery and dread, I heard it most clearly. The last experiment requires 4 hearts. Blood pounded in my ears as I shut books and tried to flee, but was pulled back into the room by unseen hands. The figures coalesced around the desk. Thaddeus Ravenwood's spirit? They seemed to be searching for something with me as their conduit, a participant in this twisted legacy. One night, I dreamt about a ritual where Ravenwood cut hearts to achieve eternal life but paid the price. I awoke drenched in sweat, only to find 4 peculiar heart-shaped stones on my desk. This was no dream. It had happened. An awakening dawned in me, a terrible realization. I would be that last experiment. In hushed tones, the shadows gathered around the desk as I sat down with the artifacts, instruments at hand. They watched with an unblinking gaze as I cut 4 hearts. In my dream's haze, Thaddeus Ravenwood's spirit had guided me through a rite so gruesome it blurred into ritual. My room was bathed in crimson light when the final heartbeat stopped and crimson flowed out of me on stone plates. The darkness dispersed before sunrise, leaving an unsettling quiet. I woke to find crimson heartstones on my desk, now pulsing with life, a signpost for the occult journey ahead. Each night, I partook in rituals, performing more bloodletting under their watchful eyes. My roommate noticed only shadows swirling around me. The day of the next full moon arrived with an unspoken understanding between us. We would face Ravenwood's legacy or be consumed by it. Shadows began to fade after a midnight ritual, replaced by figures resembling students from my dormitory's past. Their stories were etched in blood, each tale ending in death. I was the last of 4 hearts required. In that ritual room now bathed with eerie light, I felt a sear of pain, and when eyes opened again, I looked upon Ravenwood's gaunt form, an eternal man who'd paid for his obsession with human souls. Eternal life came at terrible cost. It seemed I was not only the last experiment, but its outcome. In that moment, he spoke my name in a voice like falling leaves. Your blood is my rebirth, your heart our way back. His lips curled into an ageless smile as eternal flesh enveloped me. As Ravenwood's soul, I was now part of Thaddeus' twisted legacy, a ghostly echo that held a secret heart, the key to return him among the living. My roommate and others found us gone. Only I knew what horrors had unfolded in those chambers. Chapter 3. The Final Reflection. He, Thaddeus, whispered of immortality's price, souls tied by blood. We fled Ravenwood Dormitory on moonlit footpaths, searching for answers. He was the spirit, but not fully alive, trapped between worlds with an unquenched hunger to live again. At a remote cliff overlooking campus, he revealed his plan. Lure 4 hearts, and we would walk out of darkness together. I offered my own heart, sacrificing what little remained of Ravenwood's lifeblood in me for him. It worked. Thaddeus Ravenwood returned with an aged but living form. We fled to escape the curse together. My roommate found us missing, only to be consumed by that very legacy. I knew it wasn't just a tale. Those bloodstone hearts pulsed once more within my chest, symbols on their surfaces glowing. We left campus, fleeing Thaddeus' obsession, but not our bond. In time, he'd return, seeking rebirth into our world. My heart had become his lifeblood. Shadows would follow. I bore the weight of an inhuman hunger now. One fateful moonlit night under those ancient oaks, Thaddeus Ravenwood spoke with a voice so long gone from human memory. We wait. The silence was broken by distant howls. Our fellow students, driven to insanity or death by his return. Echoes of souls tied by blood, forever cursed like us. I found myself alone once more as the dormitory beckoned. My heart, now an insatiable void that would lure him back. I waited and waited for Thaddeus under Ravenwood Dorm's moonlight embrace. His specter returned, our bond sealed with hearts beating in sync. Shadows gathered from the depths of his eternal soul, hungry souls tied by blood and bound to him. We were now a part of Thaddeus' legacy as he walked back into the living world. In every form, I felt an insatiable hunger that echoed through the years until dawn, until Thaddeus, now flesh and bone, revealed his plan with wild eyes. The bloodstone hearts. A few students had found us on campus grounds. The inhuman hunger was upon me. Our bond grew as we fled together, a heart to two bodies, one soul. I'd carried this terrible legacy for an eternity. Our bond remained bound by those symbols of what he sought. The power to live anew each time I died. We walked under moonlight from that fateful day into the light of dawn. Thaddeus was reborn in my chest as we stepped away from the shadows, his heart beating with mine, a new life. But they had followed us, drawn by echoes, tied by blood. Together, we'd walk through every age and epoch, an endless journey with Ravenwood Dorm's dark heritage between us, echoing into time. He was reborn under moonlight on that fateful night, the last heart beating. Ours now one in bloodstone hearts that pulsed like his own. I saw my roommate die before me, and it began, our endless life within shadows of darkness and light, bound by echoes of souls, forever lost to their hunger. The curse was fulfilled. We lived and walked out into the world together as Thaddeus Ravenwood's eternal return. It seemed that one blood would never be enough. I had no idea. Their legacy continued through the ages, tied to hearts bound by blood, in human hunger echoing across time and worlds. In each era, they'd walk with him, drawn to those who carried the power of eternal life. We walked on, forever cursed, a new heart pulsing each time we were reborn. Echoes of lost souls in my chest, their lives given as our own heart's echo of blood, bound by an endless hunger that echoed into all corners of history and time.